Hello people, my name is Belu Zek and welcome to the Belu Zek Show. Doing this show with me, I have Mr. Jeff with me, and we are going to talk about the aftermath of the NSAS protest. Now, just a little backstory on the NSAS protest. The NSAS protest started around 7th of October, roughly 7th of October, but it became viral and it spread across the nation as at 8th of October 2020. This was an event that climaxed on the 20th of October when soldiers of the Nigerian forces allegedly shot bullets at protesters. Now we are here not to bore you with what actually happened during the protest, but rather we want to ask ourselves the question: it's over a year, Mr. Jeff, what next?
You say what next? I want to appreciate you for having me on the show, first of all, Mr. Bello. I think the hashtag NSAS was a turning point for Nigeria, as we have seen over the last 1 year. It has brought Nigeria to the limelight in so many ways. To be sincere, I think it has brought about this need for change, which we've been crying out for over a long period of time. You know, when the protests hit its peak as of 13th October 2020, if I can remember properly, last year, across 26 demonstration events in the whole of 36 states of Nigeria, we had young people coming out for a common goal. I think that's the first time in a long time you've seen Nigerians come out for a common goal. It removed all this ethnicity we have in our culture. We all wanted change. Now you said, what next? When you have a protest like this that causes a revolution, there are some reforms that should have happened by now to show that over time we've learnt from the NSAS protest. But sadly to say, I don't think we've learnt anything from it, to be sincere with you.
That's strong. We've not learnt anything. But let's just have a word from our sponsors and we would come back and continue this conversation.
I do the same thing. I told you that I never would. I told you I changed, even when I knew I never could. Know that I can't find nobody else as good as you. I need you to stay.
2021, we try to have a remembrance of the victims of the NSAS protest, and something was still very clear. The government officials used unnecessary force on citizens, and that was the whole idea of the protest. Stop police brutality, stop using force. Human rights should mean something. When you say human rights, it should mean something. Because you have a gun, you shouldn't feel that you are above everybody. Because what's the difference between a police and a criminal is the intention they have. Both of them might have a gun, but it's the intention of what they want to use that gun to do. So when we the citizens, we are not safe when we see police around us because they have guns, then we ask ourselves, who are the criminals and who are supposed to be the security agencies? But that's not what we are talking about. Right now we are talking about what next, what are the lessons being learned from the NSAS protest, and what is the way going forward. Now, after a year, where are we today? Can we go out and say we want to protest? Again, can we actually say, okay, things have not changed, let's go out again and protest? Would that be a good line of action?
The protest we had last year, which spanned from the 8th of October or the 7th of October, which you said, to that unfortunate date, 28th October 2020. What was the outcome of that protest? The outcome then showed that the government were still using excessive force to pass across their message to civilians.
But wait, sorry
Okay.
to cut you. I want to say something, right? Was it the government did not use force initially? They asked because when I look at these things, I don't want to just put the blame on the government. I don't want to just say the government is this, the government is that. We the youth, we the citizens, what could we have done better? Because for a fact, people were shot and killed. It could have been avoided one way or the other, from both the part of the people and also the part of the government. The protest started, it was organized, but at some point it broke. There were different organizations everywhere. You could even see on Twitter certain groups attacking themselves. There is this femco coalition of feminists that kept on helping with funds and everything. And then you see people with like Fega Link, who was one of the major drivers of the NSAS protest before the protest even started. They were at loggerheads. Why? Because I look at these things and I see even the youth, we don't know what we want. Because even during the NSAS protest, there was 5 of 5 demands, became 7 of 7, it became 23 of 23. I don't know. I just lost count of everything that was happening. Okay, I'm asking a question now. If the government calls a meeting and say, okay, we want to have a meeting with the whole youth in Nigeria that represent close to 65% of the population in Nigeria, and they ask us a simple question, what do we want?
We want reform.
What type of reform?
We want reform in every sector of the country. Because first of all, ACLED came out with the statistics last year to prove that over 80% of the protests last year were peaceful protests. I, for one, was present in 3 of those protests. And I can tell you that they were peaceful protests. On the day of that unfortunate event, 20th October 2020, please, that should be kept in our minds, 20th October 2020, because it's a sad day for this country. Because if your country can send soldiers and forces allegedly with live ammunition to unarmed civilians, are you telling me that government was trying to negotiate with the youth?
But the government tried to negotiate. The government called for meetings. I know for a fact there was a meeting with between Davido, D'banj went there, Fega Link also went, some people also went. They had a meeting with the public relations officer, I think, of the Nigerian police force. Also, Naira Marley had a live chat with the police too on Instagram. I'm coming. Now they tried to engage us. The Lagos State House of Assembly, when they passed bills regarding SARS, when the protest was just in its infancy, they also called youth to talk. But now this is my major problem. And this is where I want us to focus most of our conversation on. What can we do right now? Because the truth is, doing nothing is a disservice to the lives that were lost during the protests. Doing absolutely nothing. And you said we need reforms. So how would we get the reforms if we are not even part of it?
Being part of the reforms is important. We need more young people in the government, yes. But having young people in the government does not change the fact that these reforms have not been looked at critically. Now, when we're talking about reforms, we wanted a reform from the End SARS protests that was going on last year. They changed the name from SARS to SWAT. Is that a reform?
They didn't change the name. They dissolved. No.
Okay.
They disbanded FSAS.
Okay.
And then they created another unit of police called SWAT.
So what's the difference, please?
Because SARS is Special Anti-Robbery Squad, the Federal Special Anti-Robbery Squad. Now you cannot just take it. If the units, okay, you take the unit out, which unit of the police would now be in charge of anti-robbery? That is why they had to do another sport. I saw a thread by Renew this past week. Renew Douala, one of the pioneers of NSAS protest, saying listing other radical units of the police, federal anti-kidnapping squad. I saw different, and I asked myself, so are we going to end all the? Are we saying, okay, let's just end police in Nigeria?
We are not saying we should end police, but when we are trying to make a reform, you first look at what are the major problems of the past institution that you created. Now, the institution of the police in Nigeria is bad as it is. Let's be sincere with ourselves. Because first of all, we have several videos online showing where armed forces have used excessive force either to collect something from a civilian, whether to go through their phone, whether to get information from that person. Now, this is a civilized society. This is 2021. We are more exposed to so many things. Now, if we're asking for reforms, you shouldn't just change the name of the institution. What you need to check is what are the major problems of these institutions.
The major problem is simple. The major problem is they are not paid enough. That is why they extort people that have flashy cars or money.
I think that's a wrong notion, sorry to say, because I feel, when people say Nigeria police is not paid enough, there are so many civilians who are not paid enough.
That is why.
And the civilians, why are they not carrying guns going to shoot the police? Because
but that is why youth in Nigeria have turned to online fraud. That's why Yahoo is rampant in Nigeria. We cannot hide.
That is an allegation.
It is not an allegation.
It is an allegation. Why do I say so? There are instances where footballers have come into the country because they are not popular footballers like Victor Osimhen and other popular footballers we have in Nigeria. They are being profiled as Yahoo boys, in quotes.
They are being profiled as Yahoo boys.
Because now the reforms has to come with mentality. Now the education, where do we educate our police officers in Nigeria? You see somebody just start police, you do 6 months training. I know for a fact in the UK to join the Metro Police, Metro Police just like a state police, it takes you like 2 years. But in Nigeria, 6 months you are into the police and you give somebody the gun to go and stand on the road. That is why the reform has to come from the top, and it is an institutional problem.
To make the reform come from the top, we need to have our person as the president. Because however you want to look at this thing, however you
interest,
we the youth have to play politics. Because the simple truth is, we need to understand that two people, I can be right, you can be right, and in the same issue, just looking at it from different perspectives. Let me explain what I mean now, right? When you have a leader, when we have leaders in our country that they are thinking is they pass the productive part of their life. You are over 65, you are over 70, you should be retired. You shouldn't be able to, even your brain is not as functional as it's supposed to be.
I think that's unfair. That's an unfair statement.
It's not an unfair statement.
Do you know why?
Because even in government institutions, there is an age for retirement. Yes. There is an age you get to you are supposed to retire. It's not unfair. It is the reality. I know that there are some people that are over 70, over 80, 90, and they are still very intelligent and whatever. But what I am saying is, if you are over 65, you are over 70, you have no business planning my future. Because you are not even thinking like me. That is why we see in Nigeria, even in 2023 elections are coming, people will still campaign with, I will do road, I will do water, I will give you lights. Because during their time, those were the things that they needed. Road, water, lights. Those is a simple thing for campaigning. But we the young people, we need to do politics. We need to put somebody there in 2023 that would have our interest. That is the important thing. Because if you leave the ball to keep rolling, people are already making moves. I know according to INEC, you are not supposed to start campaigning before a year to the election. The campaigning should start officially next year, right? But already people are making moves, like serious moves are being made. But the problem is with the youth, no move is made. We are not making any visible move. We just keep having clubhouse rooms telling, I have joined a lot. You go round and round. There is nobody is hitting the nail on the head. Now I want us to use what happened last week for a perfect example. Some skit makers, comedians, they had a meeting with the vice president on another issue generally to promote an award, an event that was coming up for them. And then a certain Tauma, a popular skit maker, Tauma, she said she asked the vice president some questions about the NSAS and how to make things better, lifting of Twitter ban and all that. And she had a lot of backlash from people. Oh, why did you even attend the meeting? You went to collect brown envelope. You went there for selfish interest. Why are you lying that you went there because of NSAS protest? But I look at it from this angle. She had the opportunity to look the second in command of Nigeria eye to eye and ask him some questions. Are we saying she should not take it? Because I am like her. And we have a lot of youth that are like her. Come 2023, a lot of youth would have the opportunity to meet some of these people and make a difference. But now when we meet these people, what are we saying? We have to be united. Even we have to know the way forward. What should we do? Because like when I heard the backlash Talma had, I just pitied the young lady. I pitied the young lady because I understood everything that she totally did, and I think I would also do the same. Because if you tell me, oh Bello, you have a meeting with Buhari for something totally different, I would take the opportunity because I want to look at him eye to eye and ask him that why is it that in over a year unarmed protesters were shot at, nobody had taken responsibility? Were you the one? I would want to even ask a question like, were you the one that ordered it? Let him tell me no.
I get where you're coming from, but getting young people into the government is not the problem. For example, now I can tell you for a fact that this government is one of the most inclusive government we've had in Nigeria over our democratic period we've had since 1999. But reforms does not have anything to do with individuals. That is what I want us to understand here. Now, when we are talking about reforms, we are saying about people being 75, being 60 something. Age has nothing to do with it. How old is the president of the United States of America? How old is the Queen of England? How old is the president of Denmark? We have in Europe and America where we have older people still in power. The most important thing is the reforms, the mentality. Why are you coming into this place? That's why I told you it is an institutional problem. Now let me give you an example. Now the End SARS protest was brought about because a video went viral that someone was shot in Ughelli. That was on the 3rd of October last year. Now people were not coming out to say, why are the armed forces using excessive force on unarmed civilians? It brought about the idea of End SARS. Now, End SARS was an hashtag. It was not the word End SARS itself. What Nigerians wanted was a reform. There was an outcry where people were tired of so many things going so wrong in the country. Now you talk about interest, which is a very bad thing in Nigeria because Nigerians, we are used to interest. Now putting a young person, the person still has tribe. The person is coming from a state. Now the only time in Nigeria that we were unified as a country was End SARS.
Because at that point in time we wanted something.
What do we want? A reform of the country. before the
But
2020.
wait.
Yeah.
Do we actually want a reform in Nigeria?
We actually do.
Do we?
Yes.
I don't think we do.
I think we are overdue for a reform in Nigeria.
We are due for a reform. I'm not saying we should not have a reform. I'm saying the citizens of Nigeria are not ready for a reform.
Why do you say so?
Okay, good. Why do people collect bribes in their own small location?
Because it's an institutional problem. We have
Why
come
are
into
we
a
not
system-
breaking? Well, okay. Why would you now pass one way on the road? What institutional problem?
Because
causes
you
people
know
to pass
that
one
if
way
you
on
pass
the road?
one way, you meet a police officer in the front, you give him some money, he will still let you pass.
Are you not the one that is giving him the money?
The institution has been spoilt. That I'm only a byproduct of that institution.
Simple. You've just said it. The government officials we have, they are a product of the people in Nigeria.
Yes.
Only a country that is going through bad times like Nigeria can have the government we have. The government are a function of the people, because you might go and run for office in 2023 and win. Things will still remain the same.
It's not about. That's why I said it is not really about the person.
But I just want
it's
to.
an institutional
You
problem.
said something, right?
Yes.
This government is the most inclusive government
That I can remember.
that you can remember when
Yes.
it comes to giving youth appointments.
Both
But do
with
you know
women.
that, do you know that that's why this is the period whereby youths are most powerful as long as I can remember in Nigeria. Because right now we have youths in places of power, in corridors of power. We have one or two youths stepping in. Now that's one thing. Why, if we have majority of us there, if the ratio is now 10 youths to 2 older guys, if we are trying to make reform, this is what I'm trying to say. When you say let's make reforms, like you saw the way the NSAS happened, let's make reforms. Okay, let's change the SARS to SWAT, because it's still the same people that are running it.
Yes.
They are still the ones. It's still the same thing. Nothing is changing. But if when they say okay, let's end SARS, let's change it, and then at the point of having the boardroom discussion on making some of these reforms, we have a lot of youth in those discussions, things will be different. That's what I'm saying. We cannot have a utopia. There can never be a utopia where everything is perfect. It's not going to happen. Not everything is not going to be perfect. But one thing we can have, let's have systems
Put in place.
that work. We have strong individuals in Nigeria. We don't have strong institutions. That's one problem. And one of the major problems, I think, if we want to end police brutality, my own personal suggestion, the president of the Federal Republic should not have the power to nominate or appoint an inspector general of police or any head of any security parastatal. These things should be done independently of certain individuals, because if I appoint the IGP, I want him to do something. Even if he does not want to do it, I'll just remove him and put someone that will do it for me. But if the IGP of police knows that he doesn't answer to the president, he answers to the people. If the people want him gone, the president cannot keep him. He will do some of these things. So let's take one more break, and when we come back, we will round this up. Hello everyone, my name is Bello Zek, and I'm going to be showing you how to shop on airbornemart.com. Click on the menu icon at the top. Then you click on the drop down close to shop. You click on whichever category you want. Here we are going for food items. We select pepper. We change the quantity to 2, and we click on add to our cart. And now this is our cart. We had beef before. You can also see semolina and the pepper. Our subtotal and shipping is 500 naira because we selected our Ojodu and its environment. Here you put your shipping details, your phone number. You click on continue, you select your delivery location to confirm, and then you place your order and you pay with any payment channel convenient to you. Welcome back to Belozek Show. This is the final lap of the show. I've had such a wonderful time on set. I still have Mr. Jeff with me. And before we round up, before we take this home, let me just ask Mr. Jeff, final words on this.
I just hope that the 20th of October will always represent something for us as a country. That we remember that this is a time where the youths of Nigeria stood up for something positive, something that will lead to a change in our institution as a country. And hopefully next year, 20th October, if we're going to be celebrating that day, we'll be seeing changes, hopefully.
Be careful of the change you wish for. Every Nigerian should know that by now. But in passing, I would say this. I call on FEMCO, those that started FEMCO, the coalition, people like Ozzy Etomi, and her like other ladies. Your names are not coming to my head, I'm sorry for that. People like Renu, Pamilere Adegoke, Fegaling, Apoko Doctor, even Whiskey, Burna Boy, Davido, the band, everybody that was involved or has the power to make things change. You guys should come together. At this juncture, these influencers, these celebrities, they are the leaders of the protest. We don't have a leader. Let's stop having that mindset of, we don't have a leader, we are speaking. No, let us have leaders. Let us, the youth, let's put our house together. Come together. I don't want to see Sega Link faction, FEMCO faction, Renew faction. Let's not have all those things. Let us come together. Let us know what we want as youth. And let's select a candidate for the 2023 election that we would back, who would have our interest at heart, the interest of our future, who will have those things at heart, so we would know where we would take when we have our PVC, we take it to our ballot box, we vote in these persons that we want to represent us. And in 4 years' time, even 2 years, if the people are not working, we impeach them and we have this process again until Nigeria is better. Because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is a better Nigeria. Every other personal interest should be dropped aside. Let's put our house together, come together as one. NSAS taught me something personally. Together, we can achieve anything. Everything is possible if you believe and you work towards it. It started with a simple hashtag, NSAS. It became a full-blown revolution for Nigerian youth. NSAS, over a year later, it is still very important. That single event is still very important. Let us not allow the blood of our fallen heroes go for nothing. I appeal to everybody that can do something about it. The government, the police especially, our security forces especially. You are there to serve and protect. We appreciate you guys, some of you guys that put your life on the line to make sure we can sit down here and have conversations like this. Even within yourselves, some of you know the bad ones among you guys. Expose them, shine lights on these criminals among your mates. Let everything become good. Because a policeman is people's brothers. A policeman is somebody's uncle, is somebody's father. A policewoman is somebody's sister, somebody's mother, somebody's daughter. You are people like us. We are one. We are the same. We are all Nigerians. I hope to see you guys next time when we talk about another topic that affects me and affects you. This is the Bello Z Show. Have a lovely time.
Give me some time, I need peace. I'ma need space some days, and I'm just tryna